So always follow the lead when you're talking to a client, and as we discussed about, since the Dr. Bach thing is such a big deal, I'm going to do several breakaways just so that we can have them displayed on the view themes for this cluster. Because the view themes for this cluster will lay out the range of the cost per click, average, minimum, and max, pay-per-click traffic total, and the search query traffic total on a yearly basis. I believe they're showing that here. Okay, and that's significant. So I want to lay them each out, and because we're going to be able to kind of kind of unbundle these topics. Like if I decide to keep flower essence and send them separate, I can do that later on in phase 1 and phase 2. But right now we're segmenting. So I'm going to go back into Dr. Bach. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with all the variations of Dr. Bach. Specifically this one. This is kind of a good find, 9,759. And I'm just going to do breakaway. I'm not going to put you guys through all of the details of these breakaways, but be advised that I am not in this phase at all selecting any synonyms. You don't need to bother to do this until a little bit later on. In fact, there's not a lot of time that I actually use those synonyms. I will look at them and jot them down only if they're useful. Sometimes I'll include them in later phases if they're appropriate, but we'll get into when and when you do not use the KGO synonyms. Those are going to be used in phase 3, so you can just avoid doing that. Okay, 1 click per day, not a ton of traffic on the pay-per-click traffic, but you're going to have a lot more natural queries for that term. Okay, that's significant. We're going to get into that. So just leave that right there. We do not have to drill into that at this point because we've already got our top level theme. So there's Dr. Bach, Edward Bach, you can see. Okay, there's the yearly organic rank value. The reason that this is so much more than Dr. Bach is because it is Dr. Bach has 29 interesting keywords that are being tallied, whereas this has only 1. Okay, and that's fine. We'll just hold that right now. Let's go back up to Dr. Bach. Let's go ahead and do a breakaway on Dr. Edward Bach. You don't have to go down to the other screen. You can click on it right here, and it'll do a breakaway. Okay, and not a lot of value there in the cost per click, and the traffic is not huge. It's even showing 0 searches per day, so that's not a huge one. That's fine. Go back up to view all themes for this cluster, and we're in the VOMA screen here, so you have plenty of room to play around. Be advised, guys, that as you begin to add terms, it's going to skew the cross-theme cluster market share. Sometimes beyond recognition, if you get topics that are too far away from each other. That's fine, though. I'm using that to look at these. Dr. Edward Bach. Go back up to Dr. Bach. I'm going to go ahead and do a breakaway on Dr. Bach flower remedies. Here's a lot of terms that come back. I've taken a note of this. These Bach flower remedies do bring a lot of things back. I'm going to go ahead and omit them for now. Go ahead and click continue. Comes back with only $900 worth of value there. Okay, view themes for cluster. Again, Bach flower remedies in Dr. Edward Bach. Not a lot of value there, but there's something going on, and there is some natural query traffic per day. Again, the queries per day on this one is so high because you're dealing with all 29 of these keywords, or at least most of them. Go back up to Dr. Bach again. Again, what I'm doing is I'm trying to find a more valuable keyword and a way for him to spin his concept. When I say spin his concept, I mean give an angle on his concept to have a more profitable top-level entry into the segue into just talking about an honorary mention of Bach without selling any products. So you have to be careful with that. Bach flower remedies is quite a bit more money, but Edward Bach still has a lot more. Okay, Bach remedies is by far the most valuable of the term. I'm going to go ahead and add that to the pile. Notice how Bach flower essences and flower essences do come up in the search engine proven synonyms. We're going to omit them now. You can always copy and paste one of those for later to remember. Go ahead and click. Competing pages, very insignificant. But notice the queries per day, folks. Okay, this is key. Almost no competition. You can hit this real hard. There's almost no competition in this industry, and it could be quite an ROI for him. Quick overview. View all themes for this cluster. Make no mistake about it, what we've done is kind of sophisticated. We looked at the current menu of a client. We looked at his primary theme. We did a breakaway. We found a cluster of concepts together. Not all of them, but this is a real good, this is a beginning VOMA. When we come back, I'll show you how to segment further and move to phase 1.